Hello, and thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to Soul Fuel TV. I am Stacey James, and today I am speaking with award winning author James Leitch. Hello, James.
Hello.
Hi. He is the author of Derive the Positives Out of the Negatives in Life. Now, James, you'd mentioned that it's a miracle that you're here. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, I was, I guess, felt uh, not so fair deal in life from a young age. I was a track and field star. You know, by the age of 9, 8, 9 years old, I was fastest runner, second, third, first, second, and third place every track meet across Toronto for my age group. 3 years running, and I had a dream of one day making it to the Olympics, and it was just crushed.
And I guess you had said that at a very young age that you'd received a diagnosis that would really change the journey that you were on as that track star. Am I right? Can you tell us a little bit
Yeah.
more about that?
Yes, I was diagnosed with Legg-Perthes disease. It's a very rare disease that even today they don't know a hell of a lot about. But it happens between ages of children 5 to 9 years of age, and I was over 10 when I was diagnosed with it. So my bones were apparently too fully developed for them to do anything, or at least that was the excuse they gave me 3 years later when they were telling me I was going to be fine in the first year of hospitalization. I was
Mm.
hospitalized several times for 2, 3 months at a time for this disease, which just one week I'm running and playing football with guys in my neighborhood, friends, and then the next week I'm in the hospital for 3 months.
And that must have
And I,
been difficult.
pardon me, yeah, it just drew me. I didn't know how to take it. I was just shocked. And my mom tried her best to console me, and the way a mother would,
Hmm.
obviously. And I was just floored because I just wanted to run, keep running, and I wanted to have a normal life, and it was taken away from me.
Yeah, of course. And
And it's really been rough to deal with, you know.
absolutely. And through school years, I mean, we all experience so many different forms of friendships, alienation, bullying, and it's very rare that somebody doesn't experience that at all. And you'd mentioned that bullying was a pretty big player in your school years. And what did you have to overcome from others?
Well, it was um, really frustrating because this is back in the you know early '80s. Um, well, really in 70, 75, I was hospitalized and for months at a time, diagnosed, and so the late '70s, I was homeschooled for a couple years, grades 7 and 8, or 6 and 7, sorry, and 8 I went back to school, um, because apparently by then there was no cure, no nothing, no way to help me, and so that I went through basically 5 years of hell in and out of the hospital, being the guinea pig for you know sick children's hospital for years, and nothing ever positive came out of it really.
Yeah.
And I have a plastic hip in my left side that was put in 11 years ago, and a metal on metal hip in my right side as we speak that was put in 3 years ago that I believe isn't helping me because I'm in massive pain a lot. But back in the 80s, people would stare at you. If you were in a wheelchair, you got stared at a lot. If you were walking with a bad limp, which I was at that time, it, people would just gawk at you, and it was really, for me, I was like, 15 years old, and and I just didn't want to face society. I was, just looked at as a creature of some sort. It was normal to see a person walking with a really bad limp, like I had from leg Percy's disease. So yeah, it was tough to face people. Like I used to get off the bus when everybody else got off the bus first. I'd wait until I was last. Things like that because I had
Yeah.
no self-esteem.
Yeah.
I was called like peg leg all through high school, which didn't help me much. That
No, for sure.
was my dating life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can relate. I can relate to the no dating life through high school and, nobody dancing with me at the dances either, for a different reason. I grew up overweight and I can relate to that. I know what it's like. And I mean, you'd mentioned that you had some really pretty scary thoughts as a teen and that you experienced depression. Can you tell me a little bit about that and how you
Yeah,
overcame it?
yeah, I was going through like up and down like a roller coaster with my feelings, and I was always judged, and I was always taught thou shalt not judge, all my life, and I just couldn't understand the way society was as a whole because the average person would look at me differently,
Mm.
treat me differently, laugh at me. You know, I had no self-esteem. I had no happy thoughts. I just knew my life was garbage, and I couldn't get a hold of it. I maybe I should have had you know some kind of therapy, but I would even if my parents. I remember them asking me a couple times if I wanted to talk to somebody, and I said no, I'm fine. And I'm a Virgo by birth sign, and Virgos are very stubborn people.
Yep.
I went through a lot of stubbornness in my life, and I just wouldn't give up. I would take the crap from people and just dish it back. But I mean, when you go through years and years and years of that, when I got up to my teens, like I contemplated and tried to commit suicide at 16, and it wasn't a good time in my life, and I couldn't talk to my parents. They were too.
You said that substance abuse ended up finding you at some point as well. How did you pull yourself away from that? Because that is something that a lot of people experience in North America is substance abuse of some kind.
Yes, I was I started drinking at uh, the age of 15, and I never stopped for 30 years. I Alcohol will depress you further than a normal person who's already depressed, which makes it twice as bad. So of course you always dwell on the negative. It'll spiral you down, 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 down into a deep, deep, depression stage where you don't want to live anymore. You don't care. You don't. I had very few friends who were true friends, if any, to be honest. And the drinking was all I had to look forward to at the time. And I had one good friend that we drank together, and but he had a lot of problems with his family, and we weren't there to talk to each other about what was going on in our minds, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I did contemplate, and I did act on it, and I didn't succeed, so that's why I'm still here. But later on down the road in life, it happened a few more times, and it's been hard to fight it off. And you got to keep fighting it off and keep being strong. And now my life is different. I've grown up and I've had children, and that's saved me a few times because I've had a lot of problems through this hip with the metal plastic hip insertions in the last 10 years,
Oh.
where I've had to go through a lot of pain. and suffering. But I'm a positive person. I've always been a positive person, and I'm also stubborn, and I won't give in. You know,
Yeah.
I lost my career, my dreams of being in the Olympics, but I know there's another purpose for me in life, and it's hopefully to help other people realize that there's always someone you can talk to. There's always someone there. There's always another dream you can bring into your life and your thoughts. And
Yes.
that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, and I was gonna
Just
say, you seem to be such a positive person, and I mean, just given your book, to drive the positives out of the negatives in life, you have experience with that. And what inspired you to move forward? I mean, yes, there's your children, but I mean, were you able to find something within that gave this to you? Was there a certain level of mindfulness that helped you on this journey?
yes, to you know, I've had so many negatives in my life that I've had lots of experience to derive the negatives out of the positives, and that's why I wrote that as the title to my book,
Mm.
because I've been a drug addict for 18 years. Um, Cocaine was in my life a lot. Um, Weed, not so much, but there, a little here and there and there and whatever in the
Mm.
90s. But severe uh, drug problems in, you know, my 30s, my 40s. And that was what gave me a clear life and people where, I knew that instead of just, well, I'm an open person. I welcome anybody into my life. I would judge nobody. And now I have no choice but to, because I only want true friends in my life, and I will not accept anything less. But when you're younger and you're an alcoholic drunk like I was, and I partied with anybody and everybody, I put myself in dangerous positions in life where, I really didn't care, because I didn't have a career. Um, 4 years of high school, graduate 1983, didn't have a career, didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, because I just wanted to be a runner. That's all I cared about growing up as a young kid. So I now I had a body that wasn't good enough to you know do most kind of jobs. I had a hindering leg that would stop me from doing most of the things I thought I could try, and that was like put a lot of took a lot of patience to deal with. Where I just didn't. I got frustrated, so I turned to drugs, alcohol, whatever I could to get through it. And a lot of my friends were partiers, and I to when I say derive the positives out of negatives in life, you know, I always say look at things positively way longer than I dwell on the negative, because the negatives will spiral you downwards, which I used to let that happen to me, and it almost killed me a few times. And I don't want to die. I want to live, and I have another purpose in life, and if it's not to help people that have gone through or are going through what I've gone through, I can maybe make their life better if they you know see what I've gone through, and maybe realize that, hey, there is hope. If you really want to live, and you really have that gumption in you. And I've always had the want. I just I just went down wrong paths to try and find it, because
Mm.
I wasn't a people person after being um, hurt by so many, from being different, just because I walked with a limp. And other people, are bullied because they have a. Plus, I have a lazy eye as well, so that made it even worse for me. Because I didn't mention earlier, but I was in the hospital 4 months of age, 9 months of age, with a screwed up retina in my left eye, and they tried to fix it, but it's never been fixable. So I had the bad eye, the bad leg. So I was really, you know,
A
um,
target.
in a bad place in the 80s.
Yeah.
Well, really, because people judged too harshly, society.
Yeah. It's true. And, even for myself as a kid, I remember thinking, I wish I could just turn myself inside out. People would like me. People would like me. And, I myself have lived my life inside out. Because of that, because of being there, I'm more accepting and loving of everybody no matter what they look like because I know what it's like, and that sounds like you're very much so the same way. You are more loving and accepting and not as judgmental because of where you've been. And that's a beautiful quality.
Yeah, thank you. It's got me through a lot of rough moments in my life, and to be honest, I don't even know how I'm even sitting here talking to you in this interview. To be 100% honest with you, I shouldn't be, but I am here, and that's all that I care. I'm the positive or the negative. I'm
Absolutely.
still going, and I'm still strong, and I'm still positive, and that's what you have to be in life. Life, we all have the same ride in life. Some of us get a little rougher ride, but you gotta want to live. You gotta want to try and make your life better. I don't look at the fact that I walk differently or I hurt more than the average person. I look at the fact that I thank God that I'm not in a wheelchair, and I thank God that I do have my legs to use because other people don't. And who am I to feel bad for myself when people are way worse off than I am, who are like doing amazing things. One of my good friends is Unstoppable Tracy. She has no arms, no legs, yet she's a well-known speaker in our world, and she's done nothing but positive around the world. I mean, no arms, no legs. Look what she's been doing. Like, who am I to complain? You know,
Yeah.
I've always wanted my mom and dad to be proud of me. My brothers, three brothers, there was only boys in our family, four boys, and I was the runt of the family and the badass, bad case of the family. You know, the what do you call it? The runt of the litter. So, yeah, it's been kind of like an uphill battle, but you got to keep battling in this world. You got to think positive and know that, I know it's going to get better because it can't get worse. That's the way I think. It can't get any worse, so it's got to get better. And that's the way I have to say. And and because of the alcohol and drug abuse, it really taught me a lot about society and people and more about trust issues and not being so openly easy to fall into bad situations. I mean, I've learned tenfold more than I would have learned in any college, any school, anywhere in my life. And, that's deriving the positives out of the negatives for the drug abuse and the alcohol. I don't drink anymore and I don't do drugs anymore. It's not my part of my life, then it's a lot better off you know, with the way I am. And now I can concentrate on more important things, like maybe helping somebody who's thinking or contemplating about, giving up. You don't need to. Read my book. If I can do it, anybody can. And honest to God, because seriously, I shouldn't be here. And for what I've gone through, I pat myself on the back every morning I wake up. You're still alive. You're still alive. You're still going, baby. Don't give up.
Yeah.
And I hope that I save, even if I save just one life, I don't care. At least that's doing something positive besides wasting my life away on, stupid, choices.
Yeah.
So I've been up and down a roller coaster ride, but I'm a lot better now, and I've made it a long way. I'm 56, and I make myself watch the Olympics because I need to. I love the Olympics, and I won't stop watching them because I feel that it's therapy for me. And trust me, I've been through therapy with doctors, nurses, in the hospital so long, so many months, so many hours of people talking to me. And just, you know, it didn't help. But there's certain things that works for others that doesn't work for others. and
Yeah,
I just have the will and need and want to live, if not for myself, mainly for my children, my grandchildren,
absolutely.
and you know, I don't know where I would be if I didn't have kids, and you know, hey, I I'm a loving person. People have fallen in love with me. I've had children in this world, and I never ever thought that was even possible.
Yeah.
Even, you know, I was like I said, when you're cut down by society and made to feel that you're garbage and nothing in this world, there's no such thing as having a life with friends, and the average person does, but the people that are put to the test and degraded by society to the point where you just want to die or just stop living completely. Of course, you're not going to think you're ever going to find a girlfriend. And I never ever had a girlfriend until I was 20. I had a girlfriend when I was 20, and the first girlfriend I had was pregnant in 3 weeks' time. I was an expectant father, from virgin to an expectant father within 9 months.
Months.
I was a father of one.
See, so the
That was,
universe came in and showed you real quick.
it was like time to get you out of your fog and
Yep.
into your life, a new life, right? So
Look at this. Yeah.
yeah, my firstborn son Alex, he basically saved my life, and his mother Sophie, I fell in love with her so fast, it was like no problem there. And yeah, and then I had a few more children with another lady, and I've had a few, no marriages, but three women all wanted to marry me, and I ran 3 times. And in between a few children with that scenario. And my
Yeah.
kids are my life. My
And
grandchildren, I
and
have 7
grandbabies.
grandchildren,
Yeah.
and they're all worth living for.
Well, you definitely
No matter,
got three positives.
yeah.
Three big
I,
positives out of all the negatives, and I think it's a beautiful thing, and I believe that you're gonna, well, touch a lot of people. It's going to inspire, and um, that your message will ripple out. You might not hear directly from people, but I mean, you're inspiring me right now just by this conversation. So if one person was your job, you've done it. you know, that is without a doubt.
you
Well,
have a smile in life where we live. Everybody has bad deals, I'm not the only one, and I can't sit there and cry like a baby anymore. I'm 57, turning 57. I can't believe I'm 57. Like, oh my God. It's like
I'm
years
21 for
fly by.
life. 21 for life.
I always say I'm still 29. You know, I'm still going through a rough time even with these hips and these doctors screwing me over. Like, wow. And now I got to get 2 hip replacements done the next year or sooner. But I'm still fighting. I don't give a damn.
Well,
You
you're
know,
still
I,
going, and you've got more books coming, you'd mentioned. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
yes, I've written the first book, Derive, the Positives Out of Negatives in Life. That's volume 1. I still have to write volume 2, which I'm presently writing as we were speaking. An hour ago, I was writing.
yeah.
Um, volume 3 is coming. So volume 2 and volume 3 are coming this year. And then I have another book coming out early next year, about the trials and tribulations of being on meds for 3 years that caused me a lot of heartache and suicide attempts and so on and so forth. So my fight is still going on, and I'm still, but my like I said before, my grandchildren and my children. My father passed away 10 years ago, but he was always, giving me hope. He said, "I know you," because my dad was an athlete too, and I was his like protege, and he hurt more than I did, I think, from what happened to me.
Yeah.
And but he never gave up on me. My dad always said, "Ricky, you're gonna do well." My name is Richard James Leitch, but I use James for my books. But you say, Ricky, you're a fighter. You always have been. You always will be. Your calling is coming. You don't know what it is now, and people don't know, and that's what causes a lot of heartache in people and depression, not knowing what you're meant to do in life. You know, I mean, and there's always never give up hope, because you're going to find it sooner or later, for sure.
Absolutely.
You know,
Everybody
mine
has a
about
purpose.
writing. I'll be a talker. I'll be a speaker. Whatever it has to be to give people hope, and you know, the life gets better. I mean, you know, you got to have hope. Or that
Absolutely.
George Michael tune, you got to have faith.
Yes. You
I got a
do.
lot of faith, believe me. I
Um,
still have faith. You know, the faith to get up every morning and walk like a 56-year-old instead of a 90-year-old. You know,
yep.
it's rough. It's tough. But you gotta want it. You gotta want it. You know, like you know, you just had the Super Bowl go by. You gotta want to win the Super Bowl in life.
Yes.
That's the way I think. You know, I gotta want what I want, and as soon as I know what I want, I'm gonna get it. Never give up. That's the thing. You can't give up in life.
And
If you
believe in
do,
yourself. Yeah.
you're not a winner. You
Yes.
just, you know. But
Right.
I've been through the wrecking machine a few times, and I'm still here. That's all that matters, really.
And
I'm still here, and I'm still helping.
yes, and your message is going to touch a lot of people, a lot of people without a doubt. And thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I really, 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 really appreciate it. And you are incredibly inspirational. I look forward to seeing the upcoming books that you have coming, and what more is going to come out of your journey. I mean, I believe, like you said, it can only go up from here, and our listeners will definitely be able to pull something from this as well. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, and thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yes,
You know,
my
it helps to speak. Like I'm not really done any interviews ever, because I've never had the guts, to be honest, or to talk about it like right now. So
oh,
it's it's a good thing, you know. It does help to talk about anything and everything in life.
for
People
sure.
will listen, you know. You're listening to me right now, so that's
Yes,
good.
yes, I am, and many more to come.
I appreciate the compliments, and thank you so much for having me.
You bet. So, again, a huge thank you to James Leitch for joining us and having the courage to speak about his journey and share it with so many people. If you would like to get in touch with James, you can do that at jamesleachbooks.com. His book, Derive the Positives Out of the Negatives in Life, is available on Amazon.com and Amazon.ca, as well as on so many different digital platforms worldwide. So feel free to throw that into Google, James Leitch. And we again thank all of our listeners for taking the time to tune in and be inspired and motivated by the individuals that we speak with that are freely sharing their stories with us while we fuel your soul. Until next time.